Ready?
Yeah.
Action. Tell us a little bit about what Ogikubo is all about. Just to give us a brief description of the neighborhood.
Right. Well, so anyone who's interested in Ogikubo, you can obviously look it up on the map first, and you'll see that it's in a city called Suginami. It's in the west area of Tokyo. And so Ogikubo is kind of in the middle of these kind of larger areas, more vibrant areas such as Kichijoji to the west and Koenji to the east and Nakano as well. And those are kind of like big hubs that are, coming off of Shinjuku. These are other areas that people might hang out in. Ogikubo is kind of just like a smaller place nestled in between them all.
There are two main train and subway lines that stop at Ogikubo Station.
Marunouchi Line is a subway line run by Tokyo Metro. It runs from Ogikubo to Ikebukuro while stopping at many stations in the office districts of Tokyo, such as Otemachi, Tokyo, and Ginza. There are two JR train lines that stop at Ogikubo. The first one is Sobu Line. Sobu Line runs from central Chiba to Mitaka, which is located in central Tokyo. It runs through the business districts, which are Shinjuku and Akihabara. The second one is Chuo Line. Chuo Line runs from Tokyo Station to Takao Station, which is located in Hachioji City on the outskirts of Tokyo. It usually cuts right through Tokyo in almost a straight line in the middle. Chuo Line runs through popular spots such as Nakano, Shinjuku, and Tokyo.
In terms of rent, Ogikubo may not be the cheapest, but for the level of convenience of the area, the rent rate is pretty reasonable and definitely falls under the cheaper end of the spectrum.
So you can be very honest about this, but what
Okay.
are the pros and cons, goods and bads about living in that area?
I guess coming off my last comment that it's a little bit of everything, so that could be a little unexciting to some people for some tastes, especially like a foreigner like me who's living there, being super excited to live in Tokyo, and I still really like that neighborhood, but it's in the shadow of a place like Koenji, which is known as this very counterculture place. A lot of vibrant nightlife happening, live music, vintage shops, cafes. Ogikubo has a little bit little traces of those things, but just in a very mild tone. So for some people, they might be turned off by that. But pros, it could be the same thing. For me personally, I like being in striking distance of those kind of more happening areas while being in a little more of a quiet area myself.
Here are some of the other advantages that Jerick mentioned. For Marunouchi Line, it's the last stop of the line, so the chances of being able to get a seat is very high, which is a very good thing in Tokyo where trains easily get crowded. If you have lived in Tokyo, you know it's a big deal. If you like eating ramen, I got good news for you. Ogikubo is known as the ramen capital of Tokyo, and the level of the shops is very high. There are literally countless ramen restaurants there.
Is fatty and thick.
There's also, it's kind of a small station, but nearby there's a big shopping center that's kind of above the station, and it's 3 shopping centers rolled into one. It's the Lumine, the Town Center, and the Seiyu, and they're all kind of in one building, so you can access them. So you can do a lot of shopping. There's Uniqlo and all kinds of groceries, a lot of ready-made food. And also, as far as other activities, I know there's a neighboring building that has a bowling alley, and there's karaoke, and there's even batting cages and a climbing gym, which I never got to use, but some of my friends have. So that's a nice kind of mix of things you can do just right there, all in one area.
Lastly, what sort of crowd, what kind of people would you recommend Ogikubo to?
I would say maybe young professional or mid-level professionals, not super young, because those people might like those other neighboring places like Koenji, Nakano. But Ogikubo would probably be for a little more, not older, but I would say a mid-level professional wants to be kind of close to Tokyo, but not too close, or maybe would just like the affordability that a place of that distance of Tokyo would be. Other places like Mitaka or Tachikawa, like there's kind of similar vibe, but they're a little further out from Tokyo, so that makes that commute longer if you are working in Tokyo. Also, it's pretty foreigner friendly. Me myself, I was very comfortable there, and there's like a Nepalese school nearby, so you see Nepalese children walking around, and so it kind of, you know, it brings a little diversity to the town, and it gives it a unique sort of vibe, as a unique demographic mix.
Is there something else you wanna?
Yeah, there's a. You know, if you visit or live in Ogikubo, it's you'll notice as you either leave the station or approach it, you'll notice the station announcement. It's that automated announcement. Each station has it. Whether it's, you know, if you're Shibuya, Yamanote line arrives, you know, there's a voice that says Shibuya, Shibuya. Ogikubo's is pretty unique. There's a male and a female voice that they interchange, but the female one is, for me, it's just so catchy. This lady just says Ogikubo, and it's just very catchy. Like, you know, you hear it as you're walking home or as you approach the station, and it kind of echoes on the walls too. So it's kind of this very unique sound that kind of stays with you, but it's pleasant.
We'll make sure to film that.
Oh yeah, please do. Yeah.